Outside the car, Hamas fighters and a huge crowd. Huddled inside, 3 Israeli hostages. Handed over to the Red Cross on their way back to their families after more than a year in captivity. In Tel Aviv, they'd gathered to watch history unfold.
I just can't believe that this day is finally here and that it didn't come already a long time ago as well. I just can't imagine what these girls have gone through and can't wait to have them back in our arms. I can't explain what we feel. I can't explain. We're like just like a big family. That's all I can feel. I don't know them, but they're like my sisters. I can't explain. It's insane.
Amongst those freed today, Emily Damari, a British-Israeli dual national and a Tottenham Hotspur fan, kidnapped on October the 7th from kibbutz Kfar Aza.
My beautiful, funny and brave daughter, who I love to the moon and back, deserves to come home. I need to hug her again, and I need to see her smile.
Also released, Doron Steinbrecher, a veterinary nurse, again from Kfar Aza, and Romy Gonen, shot and abducted at the Nova Music Festival. We spoke to her mother after a previous ceasefire deal collapsed.
We were so sure she will go out at Friday, and it was devastating. To wake up at 4:30 and follow the news and then see there is no list.
In Gaza today, as the ceasefire began, smiles, selfies, and most of all, a sense of relief. Here, they chant patriotic songs. My homeland, you're a paradise. Victory, victory, shout these boys. Some of the widest smiles on the faces of Gaza's paramedics. They've spent the past 15 months witnessing unbearable horror. Now, Israel's bombs, at least for the moment, have fallen silent. It's over, he shouts. Also parading on the streets, Hamas fighters putting on a show of force. Despite the bloodshed, they're trying to portray the fact they're still standing as a victory. We remain. Netanyahu is a failure in the dustbin of history, this man proclaims belligerently. But much of Gaza now resembles an apocalyptic wasteland. Displaced families today began to return to the north of the Strip. A ferocious and renewed Israeli offensive in recent months has left destruction as far as the eye can see. Sami Barakat has come to see what's left of the 3 apartments and supermarket his family once owned.
We found the place destroyed, as if it had been hit by an earthquake or a volcano. It's indescribable. This street used to be the most beautiful street in the Jabalia area.
Practically Gaza's entire population has been forced out from their homes. Sami's daughter Aya is wondering whether to pitch a tent on the ruins of their house.
I'm here next to my destroyed house. I look left and right and see nothing that can be salvaged. I'm unable to describe these feelings. No human can. Where will we live? This is the question for which we have no answer.
Some here can barely recognize where their homes once stood. Others pick through the debris, looking for any possessions they can find. Still, amidst it all, there's also defiance. Despite the siege and the destruction, says Mina, we will raise the flag of Palestine, no matter the cost, and we will be victorious. For both sides in this awful conflict, there is now a new hope that more hostages will be released, that the war will finally end. Well, everyone here at Hostage Square hoping to be back here again next week. That's when the next batch of Israeli hostages are due to be released. Meanwhile, currently in the occupied West Bank, preparations underway for the release of around 90 Palestinian detainees. We've already seen dozens of aid trucks entering into Gaza today, delivering much needed vital supplies for people there. At the moment, families in Gaza who've been displaced to the south cannot yet return to the north. They'll be able to do that next week. But there are still concerns about how long this ceasefire will last, particularly whether it will go beyond the first 6-week phase. Ultra-nationalists here in Israel insist on trying to defeat Hamas militarily, whatever that might mean. You can see from the images today, though, the group's still very much on the ground there.
Sek, thanks very much indeed. Well, as you just heard, one of the hostages returned this afternoon is 28-year-old Emily Damari. She was the only British-Israeli citizen still being held by Hamas in Gaza. In the last few minutes, these images of her with her mother have been released. According to witness testimonies from the attack, she was shot in the hand and injured by shrapnel. Her family has frequently expressed grave concerns for her well-being. But today, their lawyer, Adam Wagner, in London, confirmed to us that Emily had been reunited with her family.
It's been the most excruciating 15 months imaginable, where they haven't known if their daughter's alive, they haven't known what condition she's in, they haven't known whether she is being tortured and mistreated in other ways. She's being held by a terrorist group. So it's really very difficult to describe, and has been one of the most difficult professional experiences I've had